Tiff, I'm going to throw it to you and both of y'all to cast match 4. I want your answer to that question as well. But for now, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, let us know who you think is going to pop off in games 4 through 6. Will FaZe have a dominant World's Edge performance again, or will we see our top 3 teams continue to roll? It's match 4. Switching it over to World's Edge. Vicky, Tiff, take it away.
Hey, thank you so much, Paulo. And Tip, yeah, I want to find out, what kind of team are you aiming for right now that's on the second half of the overall leaderboards that you aren't expecting? I mean, I'm surprised to see Optic Gaming over there. FaZe, of course, like you highlighted before. And, of course, dead last before that final game was Sentinels.
Look, I was trying to dodge the question. I was like, oh, we got map number 4. Let's talk about moving on over to World's Edge. We talked about it. I kind of have this ability to curse teams. I don't want to keep saying it because I'm hoping that I can, like, get it out, right? Maybe one day, maybe I just need to turn to Catalyst, maybe get a good reading in my cards to see what is happening. But there are some moments that I would like to see. If FaZe does kind of start to get some momentum making this way into World's Edge, then it's just a matter of sitting down with Chrono and saying, hey, what are we going to do to make sure our storm point is on deck? But speaking of action, Sentinels jumping right in, Beat go crazy, Lou trying to make something happen, making that move over from Revenant to Gibby. And I was really hoping to see some success, but just fighting for their life in this contest against Tripods.
And this is the 50-50 that you were talking about before. All right, Jen. All right, it's about making a statement. The tactical crouching. Okay, I like the sportsmanship. Okay, it's okay, Jen. No one's gonna hurt you anymore. I promise. It's just a death box. But Tripods coming out on top. This is a 50-50 that Tiff, you were highlighting, we may actually see going into World's Edge. And it persisted, which is probably why Jen is trying to let Sentinels know, hey, you know, you're on the other side of the overall leaderboards, right? You're probably at the bottom at the moment. You're gonna stay there if you keep contesting us.
I think that's a moment where we may see kind of what happened with G2 and Furia when G2 was contesting at Barometer with BR Demons, made the call, hey, let's go ahead. Furia's playing with a sub in match day number 1. Let's check them out at Lightning Rod. It didn't really go as planned, so they elected to go somewhere else the next game. I think this is one of those things, Sentinels, you're not really finding some success, and after that moment there, you either need to come back with vengeance or you're gonna have to try a different POI. But Sign Us Please looks to have won their contest as well over here at Tree and reaping the rewards because now you've got Tempest as your kill leader for the lobby thus far.
Yeah, like I said before, Sentinels going down at that moment still puts them in dead last, so they can't afford to lose out on any more of those 50-50s if they even want to risk it. But that's unfortunately the circumstance when it comes to having the ability to come out on top and claim your own POI when you fight for it. We saw it time and time again with Sentinels and having to deal with trying to fight for Mill versus Optic Gaming back in last split, or rather last season, with ALGS, and it looks like it's persisting now, but this time with Tripods. As we take a look at Luminosity, one of our more consistent teams leading the way for the overall group standings. They're looking to continue on the pressure as we look at some of these other squads making their quick rotation to the northern side of World's Edge. Looking like we may have a climatizer circle on our hands here, Tiff.
I know I was asking for one earlier today when we were working on the EMEA broadcast. I was like, can we please get a north zone? Because I feel like everything kind of always pulls towards the south side in World's Edge, and Atlanta Premier electing to continue on their journey out towards Climatizer Hill only with that purple shield. So Crook and Enemy are not really sitting in the best. They're utilizing the jump tower, now electing to take that skyward dive. You got to really go ahead and prioritize your resources and maybe garner some good positioning. You know that Season is nearby vicinity, kind of firing away with that wingman, and look.
So quick from Overlook, they didn't waste a single time now, and they're looking to take care of C9, another squad that's been struggling a bit, and with a quick finish off of that, we're seeing Tripods playing extremely different versus what they've been rocking whenever Nick Merckx has been on the Watson. You can see the confidence with Nick Merckx playing on the Seer this time around. You can see how they've been taking these quick fights, and they need to because they need to secure this KP as we take a look at TSM, who are looking to send a fight over to the squad that lands over by Tree.
Okay, Verholst, we see you. Look at that. That's a knock on to Sing Dez, so you know that Sign Us Please is in that enemy team that's kind of in their distance, and beautiful shots coming out of Verholst. A little bit different when we see you put down the charge rifle and pick up that wingman, but this is going to be an interesting push because you know that team is on the top of this kind of area, which is kind of one of those tough moments. You never want to push into the tunnels because you can find yourself get third-partied really quick, but Verholst finding some finishes there, and you've got some other teams looking to be in the nearby vicinity.
I believe ESA does land around the southern point of the map here too, so they could be looking to see if they can get involved with a third party, but with the circle closing in behind TSM, this is an amazing call from them. They're just going to back up. They're going to have a skyward dive in case they need to actually rotate quick, and it is ESA actually making the rotation from the thermal station side. So ESA with amazing loot, by the way, and some KP to their name, looking to contain and take any of the stragglers from Sinus, please.
Yeah, it's so funny. Every time I see these gold shields, I want to kind of highlight something that I did see from a previous team on the match day number 2. It was, I believe, Slurp that had a gold shield from FaZe, and they actually shared the gold shield while they were rotating in from the outskirts of the ring. When you kind of send, let's say Phony gives Luda that gold shield, he can use a syringe to heal, but meanwhile, they're going to find Sinus, please, the last man standing, and James Fearless, and they're just sending him right back to the lobby, making some light work of the cleanup as they've found that last player. But that's just something that I've noticed. It's managing your resources, right? If you can utilize syringes, which are more easily found than maybe some med kits here on the map, you can kind of share that. Like Luda popping a syringe right now, had Phony given him that gold shield, it would go so much further.
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to prioritize their rotation instead, just trying to be as quick as possible. But you're absolutely right. Just rotating through that loot will definitely help out ESA, especially when they're getting overly aggressive like this outside the circle. We do note that Capper probably does have that skyward dive already at this point, so they probably could already go in for a quick rotate utilizing that Valkyrie as well. So while they are just going to help reset, they're making their next move to figure out where they want to approach this next circle, because while they did take their time with this fight to clean up Sinus Please, they have allowed TSM to also get ahead of them in terms of the circle positioning that could be awaiting them on the outskirts of the ring.
Yeah, no, look at this. We're going to cut on board to Luminosity, and they've got a black hole in. Wait, Measles already down. Yanya and Jaguars trying to put out a lot of damage on the team inside. I believe that's going to be BR Demons. But with Measles down, using the grav lift to block the door and control the space, I really respect that.
Oh. 2 members down from Luminosity off the rip right there too. Luminosity in a lot of trouble as Furia are looking for a redemption shot here. They're playing around the dome. You can see the hipfire shots from Zera, and they do clean up FaZe. It doesn't look like FaZe is going to be having a great first game on World's Edge.
Oh, I know Fallout was kind of probably sitting there like we were wanting to have them find success on World's Edge after a not so stellar performance on Storm Point, but Furia had some other thoughts in mind and they win that 3v3. Now they get to reap the rewards of all the loot that FaZe had found, and just look at all the heals, just throwing them out. Panders is like, medkit for you, medkit for you, you want some syringes? I got you guys. We've got plenty. Zera gonna hit that ultimate accelerant to make sure you can get that black hole ult and ready and willing for that next fight as they continue their journey on towards Climatizer.
Yeah, this is a really good spot for Fury to be in too. Even if they want to stay put in this building, they're taking a 50-50 chance from the high ground to see where the circle could be pulling, because there's a chance that this circle could pull towards the train tracks or towards that southern building that's towards the east side of Climatizer. That lone building where I've seen final circles pull towards on the outskirts of Climatizer, because there's a chance that it doesn't necessarily land on Climatizer and Furia could take the opportunity to actually out-rotate the squads that have decided to fully commit into the buildings of Climatizer, like E8, Space Station, Oxygen, 100 Thieves, and the Guard. So if they got ahead of the curve, that's a lot of squads that they could funnel into their line of sight.
Speaking of line of sight, Optic Gaming just kind of perched up here in like a little nest in the tower, looking at the distance. You can see the teams that are utilizing those skyward dives and making their moves into Climatizer, but I don't see any teams kind of in the nearby vicinity. So Optic Gaming taking this time, crafting up, making sure they're getting resources. You can see Noct utilizing this for his shield, making sure they're all fully purpled out to go into that end game. We really haven't been seeing a lot of good performance out of Optic, which is so interesting to say because they were so dominating throughout the LAN performances that I got to witness. I was in person there at Raleigh when they were crying out. So now let's see what they can do here as they jump on over to World's Edge. But another team that we want to see find success, Tripods.
Yeah, you know, not just that too on LAN looking at the game, but they also have success in other Apex Legends tournaments as of recent, specifically the Code Red tournament that they ended up coming on top of. So wondering where this inconsistency is coming from with Optic Gaming. It could be maybe some of the teams that have just been grieving their rotation. They don't feel comfortable, so they're taking a much slower approach, as they should, looking at where they're sitting in the overall standings after those first 3 games. Tripods, though, are set up in the building that I was actually noting originally where the circle could inevitably pull towards in Climatizer. It could be on the outskirts to the left side of Climatizer, and looks like Tripod's got all the meds to work with too, so they're not even worried one bit when it comes to adding in the pressure for the other squads that are going to rotate out of that building.
Well, they don't have to be worried about some Tridents either here now that we're on World's Edge. No Oxygen pulling up some Fast and the Furious style to really reposition behind them. So as long as you clear out and hold that ring to your back, no one's going to be able to flank you.
That would definitely give me PTSD. Oxygen Esports with an actual game-changing Trident that I probably have ever seen. That was insane. But they don't have to worry about that this time around. Instead, they just gotta look to the skies. It's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's the fourth skyward dive that's probably gonna be coming in through your heads. And happens a lot here in these type of circles. But the other squads, though, like TSM and Optic Gaming, playing on the outskirts of the circle, you could tell what their game plan is. And with their composition, it works nice. Obviously, they are running the true Horizon, Seer, and Valkyrie comp. But you could see the way that they're playing way more laid back, more kind of patiently. Their goal is so that way they could play for positioning and for the placement points rather than just fragging out and trying to get a lot of this KP as a third party.
Yeah, kind of interesting. We're just jumping POVs. We saw Optic Gaming kind of craft up their shields. They're going to take to the sky. We just came from TSM crafting up their shields as well. But something to note is a lot of these replicators have been moved to where they used to kind of be within some sort of cover, but they're placed just outside of POIs. So you're forced to kind of keep an eye out because you can easily get kind of knocked. You have a lot of these teams that do these shoots where they'll go 3, 2, 1 and team shot you. But let's see if Optic Gaming has some success here.
Yeah, we're going to take a look and get a listen in for Optic Gaming to see what they're going to do after this rotation from the skyward dive.
Can we get some scans on the donuts?
I'm scanning donuts right now.
Like
two on the right. I only saw 2 heartbeats.
There was a team at the top of the snake that saw us do this.
oh, okay, they're in both donuts.
There are 2 teams in both donuts. I'm trying to heartbeat to see if there's a duo. Yeah, there's 3 men in this one. I'm gonna scan right donut.
This is SSG up here. Or should we...
There's 3 in each donut. 3 in each donut. They're playing this rock right here.
5% off my ult again. Here, someone should take gold helmet from me.
Give it to Dupe.
Optic Gaming, very limited comps. They do pinpoint where some of the squads are sitting in and who managed to see where they wanted to land from the skyward dive, but it's just mental notes for Optic Gaming while we tune into TSM in a fight. They have the high ground advantage, and with the fight already over by Epi, they're playing on the outskirts of the circle, which could be risky and prone to allowing some of these third parties to get whiff of what's happening here, but a nice position nonetheless for TSM to be on this high ground.
Yeah, I kind of like this positioning. Once you start to dive into the low ground of Epicenter, it's kind of asking for a lot of targets on your back. So I kind of respect TSM for making sure that they're not going into that. Yes, you're getting a lot of information. It seems like they know someone is looming within that area and that POI and the tower. But the question is, when is that team going to make their way out? So because they want to catch them on that rotation. Meanwhile, Season going to find themselves back into the lobby with Atlanta Premier kind of being the thorn in their side here today.
Yeah, 100 Thieves also, I don't know if this is Apex Legends or if we're playing Microsoft Paint out here with the Watson fences, but he is truly painting a scene for us to see right now. The crypto drones, man, wouldn't it be a shame, Tiff, if all of this hard work just disappeared from an EMP? Oof, truly would be a shame. Definitely doable, which is why we were seeing so much crypto in the lobbies to counteract these fences or any caustic barrels, as we get to take a look at the guard who are situated inside of this building with the fences themselves, but it's RKN that has the crypto drone that can fight them off.
I feel like I'm back into like high school geometry with all these Watson fence shapes, but I mean, you've got to commend it to them. They are pulling off some beautiful exhibitions with the Watson fences. But you mentioned the crypto, right? That's going to be RKN from the guard that has the one. That's going to be Hill on Atlanta Premier, and they're all up in the lobby. Coming on over to TSM, they have some really gnarly things happening to them. Hal is going to fall, putting them into a precarious situation.
See what Furia is gonna do with the high ground in their favor, but a squad's right to their 6. It's gonna be Furia holding onto the high ground. ESA rotating from the south side maybe here, as TSM are also on the low ground. So many squads within the southern side of the circle still. These heavy hitters, Furia, TSM, and ESA that want to continue on their domination as first attempt get wiped out by TSM. TSM actually were able to fully take control over that building, which is amazing news here for TSM, as they're stuck now between Furia and ESA. They needed that building to actually have their back to some safety.
ESA taken to the sky, looking to find themselves a nice position here towards the end game, but absolutely getting tagged up. Capra is just trying to finesse in the air right now. Spam those skydive emotes, because this is what you need to do, as you have every eye on you in this lobby. 12 squads remaining here on World's Edge, and you have nestled yourself here onto the sides. But the question is, we know that there's ESA. We know all the teams that are kind of in that area of the map, and Furia looking to find some KP here.
Yeah, that was where tripods were sitting in for a really long time on that other side of Climatizer. So now with that free spot available for ESA to capitalize, they're gonna reset. They're probably neighboring that of tripods, and Furia are gonna be playing the side of the circle while they figure out a way to inch their way into this next circle, because TSM's to their right, Optic Gaming's right in between themselves and tripods, and Furia are looking at the squads that still need to funnel themselves outside of the buildings of Climatizer. That building alone has 4 to 5 different squads. You got E8, 100 Thieves, Guard, Space Station, Atlanta Premier. It is actually chaotic to look at where this next circle is going to be pulling, and all the teams that are going to be forced to get into the line of sight of the likes of Furia, Optic Gaming, Tripods, and TSM.
Ooh, Furia just trying to arc it back. The Arc Star goes out, and now the aggression comes in. Panders gets tore up. His lesson going to fall, as well as TSM is looking to answer back between the hands of Reps, finding some success, but they are going to come out on top. Panders clutches for Furia, but they have to wait for the third party right now. I don't believe they're going to be able to get the reset.
If they could get this reset, that would be absolutely huge, but I believe it's Optic Gaming that just came out from a fight themselves. They may be going into third party. They want to capitalize, and it is Optic Gaming. They want to fully send it out to Furia. They just needed to take out 2, and they do so. Optic Gaming now, with all the free loot in the world, after we just saw Furia taking care of TSM and Optic Gaming following up with a domino effect.
Wow, we were asking ourselves where Optic Gaming was, and we found them. Optic with an impeccably timed third party, and now we see Tripods right here on your screen, still alive, finding themselves here with the 10 squads remaining.
They have not left from this spot, and they had their eyes kept onto ESA, who landed right next to them. Nick Burke's falling incredibly low, though, isn't able to reset fully like he wanted to. Esports Arena get cleaned up at the hands of Gent and his PK. ESA out of this lobby, 9 squads left, and that squad that's still taking up that inside of that truck have not left there the entire time. I believe that may be Atlanta Premier, who rotated there when they were pressured on the outskirts of Climatizer. Oh, the grenade? Oh, Deeds is falling so low. He managed to pull up the shield back. Is it going to be enough with Optic Gaming now in a fight on the outskirts of this fence line, Tiv?
Optic just throwing down. They needed to step up, and they are doing everything that they needed to do. Skittle Cakes, Arc Star in hand, trying to make something happen. And Space Station holding the roof of this building. Frex is building out those fences to really honor this area. They want to say this is the moment to make happen.
Space Station with the high ground, though, going in favor to them and their positioning here. You could see Frex with the perimeter set up all around the top of this roof, but it's Optic Gaming on the other side of that fence line. They're not going to be moving from that spot. Atlanta Premier getting pinged down by Space Station. They literally have reign over Optic, over Tripods, over Atlanta Premier, but they have to also fixate their attention on the action happening right below their feet.
Hey, the guard looking to find themselves a really great lobby here because you know they want to answer back. They already found themselves first play on their match showing, but Optic Gaming trying to stay alive. Skittle Case, I've seen some amazing things come out of him, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to have the numbers advantage here as Tripods sends it in for Optic Gaming, but they're going to fall as well because Oxygen Esports is just getting the cheekiest of angles while nestled in the nearby building.
On a silver platter in the hands of Oxygen Esports. I mean, Loba deserves it all, but now you get to call it out, and it's that extra KP, breaking up that shield with the charge rifle. You got the Volt in the hands of Frex as well. This really shows you how this positioning here on top of this building is going to really allow the likes of Space Station to continue on their domination. Look at that Thermite burning through the shields of Atlanta Premier, getting the knock onto Crook, but they can't give up this ground. Yes, it looks tasty to try to make sure you secure that KP, but Space Station just needs to stay put.
Atlanta Premier going to fall to the hands of Space Station. It's only a matter of time because they are just wreaking havoc from above, finally dropping down, looking to put the finishing touches onto the Loba in front of them. This is going to be on Oxygen Esports, and they are just doing so much damage. Oxygen Esports now eliminated from the lobby. 4 squads remaining. It dropped isn't stopping there.
No, 100 Thieves, though, losing out on Baxon. BR Demons on the other side versus Space Station Guard. Now, with Space Station making their way, they had the God spot, basically, for this final game, and Guard get eliminated at their hands. They took 2 of these fights, and now they're playing out of the health disadvantage. BR Demons looking to fully set it and take game number 4.
This is the day of all of the teams from the preseason qualifiers to find their success in a lobby full of so many decorated teams. Look at the ones that are coming out on top. It's BR Demons today. This is absolutely insane.